Thank you, Thomas. And I think back 45 years ago to 1972 when I got in the golf business. I attended our first educational program, my first educational program. It certainly wasn't the first. Not used to these Broadway lights, excuse me. And it was at Westchester Country Club. I was a young apprentice, 21 years old. I remember sitting in the back, probably too shy to come up front and ask questions. And to think that I would be standing here 45 years later as a recipient of a Lifetime Achievement Award is quite an honor. So, and to be given it by the current PGA Professional of the Year, the National PGA Professional of the Year, and a great friend, Tom Anderson, is also special. So Tom, thanks for the introduction and thank you for the reception. I stand here, but I don't stand here alone. Obviously, I'm alone on the stage. There's so many people I do want to take the time to thank. I'd like to start with the past presidents. Heath had mentioned them. These are gentlemen who are club professionals like ourselves who decided that they're willing to give of their time and their energy on our behalf. So to each of you, I'm most appreciative both for the service you've given to our association and also to me as a friend. To the award winners today, to Matt Dobbins, who Matt, I really haven't had a chance to know. He's on Long Island, I'm in Westchester, and it's almost like two different worlds. But I remember when he was selected as the head professional at Fresh Meadow and he'd worked for a good friend, Daryl, at Deepdale, he gave me a call and we talked on the phone about running his golf shop. And for somebody to transition as a head professional and to win 2 national Club Pro awards, player awards, is an amazing thing to be able to keep the balance between running a business, running your operation, taking care of your members, and also to maintain your game. So, Matt, you're joining a fraternity of golf professionals. When I was growing up, the great players were Jimmy Wright and Jimmy Albus, and it kind of transitioned into the Darrell Kestner, Bruce Zabriskie era. Obviously now we're Rob Labritz and Frank Benzel. Some great players. So you're in a great fraternity, but you should be honored for the ability to maintain that balance. To our professional of the year, he's a guy that is my neighbor. Not neighbor, although he lives in Bedford and I live in New Canaan, so we're sort of neighbors, but our clubs are both in Purchase, so we've been touching, our facility has been touching for many years. Nelson Long, his longevity at Century is such an honor to the members to recognize somebody of that ability. You know, Nelson grew up in the western part of Virginia. You'll probably tell by his accent a little bit. He doesn't have that Brooklyn accent. But Nelson's dad, Nelson Long Sr., actually worked with Sam Snead down at the Greenbrier back in the late 20s, early 30s. So the connection between Sam Snead and Nelson and his father and Nelson and I is kind of nice. Last year, Nelson was our house guest down in Bluffton, South Carolina, and you talk about Nelson as a young buck compared to me. He's probably a couple of years younger. But he went out and shot the easiest 72 you can imagine. It was like every fairway, every green. So he's maintained his game, but it's really the honor he brings to us as a gentleman and as a professional. So congratulations to Elizabeth, and to Alex, and to Eric, and to Miss Terry for the honor that your husband got today. To Bruce Zabriskie, who's not on the list here, he won the Deacon Palmer Award. And the Deacon Palmer Award is for really overcoming obstacles, as Arnold Palmer, they honored Arnold Palmer's dad, and so Bruce will represent us as he goes forward in the national competition. Obviously a longtime member of the Westchester family, and Bruce and his wife created the Clara's Secret Shepherd Foundation in honor of their daughter, Clara, who passed. And what they've done is they've raised money through that foundation to reward hundreds of children in Broward and Palm Beach County who don't have anything. And every year they do a great fundraiser. So to Bruce, well done to you and your entire family. Congratulations. Met PGA staff, as I said, I don't stand here alone. All the programs that we run today. Kelly, you did an incredible job putting this program together. Certainly the Education Committee, again, for a great job. Michael Shank and Chris Kenny. And Jeff Voorhees, congratulations for your new position as the Executive Director of the section. But they work many long hours on all our behalf, so thank you to them. And he doesn't want it to be about him, so I won't make it, but to my great friend Charlie Robson, who's been with me all the, as I said, I've been doing this for 45 years. Charlie is retiring at 43, but I'm pretty sure you were there when I started in 1972. So to the entire Met PGA staff, thank you for the time and the passion you put on our behalf. To my club, Westchester Country Club is, it's been my home for 26 years, my second home, although I probably spend more time at the club than I do at home, unfortunately. But you know what the great thing about Westchester, and it's so true of many clubs, that Westchester is pretty unique because it's such a high-profile club, is they always say yes. We run many educational programs on behalf of the Met PGA, and Westchester, in my 26 years, has never said no. They make the facility available, whether it be the range, some of the classroom settings. We've done a lot for junior golf at the club. So the club has said yes. To my staff, what they do for my staff, Tom had mentioned that 18 of my former staff have going on to become head professionals. And they've been very supportive of them and their families, financially, very supportive of all of us. And then finally, they say yes to the military. I got very engaged in the military 6 years ago through a good friend of mine, Jim Estes, who started working with disabled veterans, and their generosity for Folds of Honor, Patriot Weekend, very, very powerful. So to Westchester Country Club for always saying yes, and I'm always happy to say yes to you, so thank you. To my staff, past and present, there's some that are here today for the first time. They show up, they work their 12, 14-hour days just like your staff. We try to keep a family atmosphere. We try to respect each other and honor each other for our differences and our similarities. I do want to mention three who have been with me for 20-plus years: our caddy master, Bobby Callens, our head professional, Harvey Lanik, and one of our teaching professionals and dear friend, Barry Triano. So thank you to all of you for what you've done for the club and for me personally and professionally. To my family, the dinners I didn't show up for, the long summer weekends, but now fortunately the children are grown and they don't want me around that much anymore. But to Eileen and to Johnny and to Sarah, the thing besides the love I feel for you as your father and husband, is the great admiration I have for the heart you have for others. And that's all you could hope for in your children, is that they find place that they could involve themselves with other people. And fortunately for Eileen and I, that Johnny and Sarah are grown up in that fashion and are headed in that direction. So thank you very much. For the one thing I'd like to finish up with is something that I kind of try to motivate myself each spring as we begin a long season. And one would be, and I hopefully we'll all feel this way, is a sense of gratitude. We're lucky that we have our offices is 200-plus acres of beautiful outdoor land, and people are there to have a good time. Now, unfortunately, golf makes it difficult, as Butch talked about, to always have a good time over every shot. But it's rare that you have a profession where people come to you and have a good time and to have such a beautiful office. So gratitude for where we are and what we do is very, very important. I think for the people we can spend time with, whether it be staff, whether it be our club members, or in my case, some of the disabled veterans, to be grateful for that, I think is something that's very, very important. And what it does is it really gives you some joy in life. If you have gratitude, it's something that certainly gives you joy. I would say probably, the thing that, the second thing I'd like to wish for you would be that you have a chance to spend time with something you're passionate with. Try to commit 30 to 60 minutes a day to something that truly moves you, because I think that's going to give you energy to get through some of the things that are challenging. So try to find what you're passionate about. I know I try to. For me, it's learning. Butch had talked about never stop learning. That's something I truly enjoy doing. It's led me in a lot of different directions. It's been very rewarding. So I hope that all of us can have something, are allowed to spend time with something we're truly passionate about. And then I would say probably in closing, the thing I try to do, not always successful, but I hope that all of you do, have an opportunity to find a cause that's bigger than yourself. Because life is too short. And I think that there are many opportunities, whether it be for me in the military or for you. It could be just working with your staff. It could be some of your students. It could be at the church. Just to try to find a cause that's bigger than you, because you're going to get to where you want to get to anyway, and it's going to be a lot better trip along the way. So I encourage you to certainly have a sense of gratitude, to find something that you're passionate about, and then just find something, again, I try to do this myself. It's not for me to tell you. To try to find something that has a greater sense of purpose. So I'd like to thank the past presidents. I certainly like to thank Tom Henderson for that fine introduction. And I want to thank all of you for coming today to listen to Butch, to listen to all the award winners. And I hope you all have an incredibly good 2016 season. And because of you having a good season, everybody is in your life has a better season. Thank you.